Good morning, everyone. I am so happy to see you again. I'm expecting a lot of fun activity in this house today. Let's see. My friend Victoria is coming to rehearse a two-piano work with me. I'm the second pianist. Jeff Bentley, my piano technician, is coming to tune both of the pianos in the music room. I'm expecting a delivery of firewood at some point today, and I want to go outside to gather some crabapple branches to see if they can be forced into bloom in the house. So please hang out with me. I think we will have a good time together. I thought I would surprise Victoria with a Victoria sponge cake. This was supposedly Queen Victoria's favorite tea time treat. And I need to weigh out my flour. I need 2 cups or 260 grams of self-rising flour. Even in America, we can find self-rising flour in just about any supermarket. Also, my oven is preheating to 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius. And I need to grease and flour 2 8-inch diameter cake pans. I sprayed my pans with baking spray. Baking spray contains flour. I'm just going to brush the sides to make sure I have good coverage here. And then for further anti-stick insurance, I'm lining each pan with a round of parchment. And we can set these aside. I'm going to use my stand mixer to make the cake batter, but you could use a large bowl and electric beaters. You could even use a large bowl and a stout wooden spoon. And I will post a link to the recipe I'm using in the description box below. I need 1 cup or 227 grams of room temperature butter and 1 cup or 200 grams of regular granulated sugar. And I need to cream the butter and sugar together. That will take 4, maybe 5 minutes. By the way, this is the Amish butter that you and I bought together at the general store in Canaan, New York, in one of last week's episodes. I want to see how it works out with this cake. The butter and sugar have turned light and fluffy, so now I can add 1½ teaspoons of pure vanilla extract. Then I need 4 large eggs at room temperature. I will add them one at a time and beat well after each addition. At low speed, we can beat in the self-rising flour just until it disappears into the batter. So this Queen Victoria sandwich is a very interesting tea time treat. It's whipped cream and raspberry or strawberry jam sandwiched between 2 sponge cakes. It's very rich and it's very delicious. I want to give my mixing bowl a very good scrape here, just to make sure everything is well incorporated. We need to divide the batter among the 2 cake pans. I'm going to let my kitchen scale help me out here. This batter is very thick, but it should even itself out in the oven. I will bake these cakes until their sides pull away from the pan and the tops color lightly. That will take from 22 to 26 minutes. Well, that was perfect timing. Jeff just arrived to tune the pianos. Let's go say hello. Jeff Bentley became my piano technician when I moved from New York City to New York's Hudson Valley some 20 years ago. Because the pianos get a lot of use, I have them tuned multiple times each year. Today, besides tuning the pianos, Jeff is also voicing several hammers in order to give the pianos a more rounded sound. Jeff is a brilliant piano technician. I feel lucky to have him. While Jeff was working on the pianos, I received yet another delivery of firewood. The wood will keep us comfortably warm during the bitterly cold month of February. These cakes smell just fantastic. I think it's the vanilla that we used. That was the homemade vanilla that you and I made together. I'm going to let these cakes cool in their pans for 5 minutes, then we can unmold them. I don't know if you can see, but the cakes have definitely pulled away from the sides of the pan. And the cakes are springy to the touch. That's how you can tell the cakes are done. And now we can unmold. I'm putting a tea towel over each cake. Peel off the parchment. And then we can let these cakes cool completely. And while we wait for that to happen, I think we can go outside to clip some crabapple branches. Over the years, I have planted many crabapple trees on this property. The pear you see here is a weeping variety called red jade. In spring, these trees are covered in brilliant pinkish red flowers that fade to white. We clipped forsythia a couple of weeks ago. I think it was during a snowstorm, and those dead-looking branches all sprung into glorious bloom 2 weeks later. So we will see if these crabapple branches do the same thing. It's mighty tall. Too tall. So I'm going to arrange these stems at varying heights just to create a sculptural effect. This only looks like a bunch of dead twigs in a vase right now, If and when those twigs bloom, this arrangement will look spectacular. All of these stems will be covered with beautiful pink flowers. I'm going to put this arrangement in a semi-warm and sunny location, and we will see what happens. And when I come back, we will make the filling for the Victoria sponge cake. Although the Victoria cake is typically filled with whipped cream and jam, I'm going to make buttercream frosting instead of using whipped cream because whipped cream tends to deflate. Buttercream, well, it's buttercream. It lasts a long time in the refrigerator. I need a half cup or 113 grams of room temperature butter and 2 cups or about 200 grams of confectioner's sugar. I put on the paddle attachment. I need my whisk attachment. And here it is. I'm going to whisk the butter and sugar together until the mixture turns light and fluffy. Look at this. It looks like frosting, but it is too thick for me to pipe or spread, so I am going to use a tiny splash of rose water. Love the scent of rose water. Also going to add a little splash of cream. I'm just trying to achieve a spreadable or pipeable consistency. I always try to keep things tidy as I work. I seem to have confectioner's sugar all over my person. And I have some seedless raspberry jam here. I'm just going to stir up really well. Then I need a cake stand. I really like how our cakes turned out because they are thin. We don't want really thick layers for a Victoria cake. Now the one over here is a little flatter, so I think this will be the bottom of the cake. This will be the top. So I will spread the raspberry jam on the bottom layer. And I'm not spreading it all the way to the edge because when I put the two cakes together, it will force the jam over to the edge. And if the jam is already at the edge, when you put the other cake on top, the jam will spread over the side of the cake. And I want to at least try to avoid that. I'm going to wash this off because I need it for our buttercream frosting. And what a magnificent buttercream frosting it is. The bottom on the cake stand, and then the top. And now we have the golden opportunity to use one of these little shaker canisters that you and I bought together at the Mennonite General Store. When was that? Last week? Put some confectioner's sugar in here. Here's the wire mesh screen, and then a twist on top. Now, the Victoria sponge cake is typically dusted with confectioner's sugar, so that's what we are going to do. Now, I think Vickie will be very surprised to see this cake because she is another Victoria. Now, while we wait for Victoria to arrive, I'm going to set the table in the music room and brew some tea. I think that this chai black tea from Tierra Farm will go very nicely with this cake. Let me make sure I have everything: saucers, plates, forks, spoons, cups, strainer, milk, sugar cubes, and cake. Cheers!
Sante.
Sante. Oh, it's very nice with the milk. It really is. So this cake is your namesake. It is a Victoria sponge cake.
Oh, thank you.
Traditionally, it's filled with raspberry jam and whipped cream, but since it's only two of us, I filled mine with buttercream frosting because buttercream can go into the refrigerator, and then we can have many afternoon teas together.
We can.
Okay, let's dive in. This was Queen Victoria's favorite tea time treat. It's yummy.
Queen Victoria was a professional.
Oh, she was a professional. There is, I don't know if you can smell it, but there is a little splash of rose water in the buttercream frosting. Before Vickie and I head over to our respective pianos, I want to thank you for watching this channel. Your companionship means the world to me.